YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Trouble T Roy. You already know what it is, man. The email is the same: GETKICKZWHOLESALE, the number one at gmail.com. For any questions, concerns, comments, you can email me. I try to do my best at getting back at people, but I get a lot of emails, to be quite honest with you. But today's vid is going to be something simple. I'm going to harp on a specific topic because I feel like when I talk about it, I've always grouped it or talked about it with something else or other topics. But today it's going to be called Ask the Questions. You hear me? Ask the questions. And this is the whole spiel with real versus fake and authenticators. I want to kind of break it down and deal with this specifically, because a lot of people, like I say, really don't know what's going on. Like, they don't. And then you have those that, have the whole propaganda of telling you something's fake for monopolization, which you've heard me say many, many times. But ask the question. And what's the question, you might ask? The question is, what qualifies an individual to know real versus fake? What knowledge and experience do they have to qualify shoes in, real versus fake? Or what knowledge and experience do they have to be an authenticator? Ask the question. What's your credentials? What's your experience? Who makes you this authenticator or this expert on real versus fake? Who does that? Because here's the thing. By no means am I calling anyone stupid, but stupidity is a choice, okay? Because again, real versus fake is extremely obvious. It really is. Stitching does not make a shoe fake, okay? A flaw does not make a shoe fake, all right? Factory mistakes, which is still flaws, do not make shoes fake, all right? Off lettering do not make shoes fake. Off logo do not make shoes fake. Okay? Upon your own research, which I always tell you to do, you can see you've seen shoes that are B grades that are sold in outlets. You see horrible retail pairs of shoes where Jumpman logos or stitching is terrible. Or stitching in general is terrible. Or the paint job on the sole is horrible. These things do not make shoes fake, and these things pass quality and control and get into your retail stores, people. So again, you can choose to be stupid and believe the masses of people that either don't know or is trying to, again, put a false narrative out there and create propaganda. You can choose to listen to these people, or you can do your own research. It's enough public information out there for you to find out yourself, okay? So, with that being said, don't choose to be stupid. Use common sense. Use common sense in business, okay? Because no shoe is going to be perfect. Just a lot of shoes have less flaws than other shoes. Some are a little more well-made than other shoes. But the stuff that you're hearing out here, that these guys like Fake Education and, that StockX do with their authenticators and GOAT do with their authenticators, does not make a shoe fake. It does not. All these people you see online as so-called experts, again, ask the question, what makes you an expert on real versus fake, or what makes you an authenticator? If you go look at these companies and shoe stores, boutiques rather, that hire authenticators, they just hire people that like sneakers. That's real. That's real. And how come, another question to pose to you, how come only boutiques and like sneaker apps hire authenticators? How come places like Foot Locker, Finish Line, Foot Action, Jimmy Jazz, Dr. J's, Shoe Palace, how come those stores or retailers don't hire authenticators? It's a question to ask. You really got to think about it. The answer to that is because they're authorized with the brands. That's the answer. So that should put whatever you think in a certain perspective, if that people that are authorized with the brands have no need for retailers, no need for authenticators, because what? They're authorized with the brands, right? But those that own boutiques and sneaker apps and little mom and pop stores that don't have accounts with Adidas, Nike, Jordan, Fila, Saucony, New Balance, they don't, if they have accounts with these locations or these brands, they don't need authenticators. Authenticators are only needed for people who don't have authorization with the brands. And again, I was talking about something with GOAT linking up with Foot Locker, because I know people are going to be like, well, GOAT, they have authenticators and they linked up with Foot Locker, which was genius. So all GOAT is doing now is borrowing the authentication from Foot Locker. They're not GOAT isn't authorized, but because GOAT teams up with Foot Locker, they now can kind of ride off of that authorization. So if you look at all your boutiques, look at all of them. Like I say, look at all of them. The majority are not authorized with the brands at all. And the ones that aren't authorized always have some kind of authenticator or some expert, with real versus fake in place. So pay attention. Like, these are things that people aren't pointing out to you. Okay? Pay attention. And notice that when you ask the question or you challenge somebody on their stand versus real versus fake, if they don't know what they're talking about, what happens? They always get mad when you question it. So say if you sell a pair of shoes and these shoes are authentic, and they come back to you and say, yo, bro, these shoes aren't real. You see the stitching and the lettering right here? These are fake. When you say, who told you that? Oh, my man's told me that, because of blah, 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 yada, yada. Where did he get his information from? Oh, he and they start stuttering. And they'll make something up. Yeah, whoop-de-whoop, this, that, and the third. Does your man, is he cool with somebody with the brands? Or does he have a retail pair? That question, you always stump people with that question. He has a retail pair from a store that's authorized with the brands. Can I see the receipt? Even though cats create receipts. Let's be real. Another secret of the game that ain't nobody going to tell you. Because they don't want you to know where they're getting their shoes from. Or they don't want you to know that you're getting your shoes and they're getting their shoes from the same place. But yeah. Oh, nah, he ain't got no retail pair, but he looked at fake education page. That's another excuse that come up. Or he looked at online on YouTube. He watched somebody's real versus fake. Okay, and what kind of expert are they? Do they work with the brands and stuff? Like, nah, you know what, man, just give me the money back. That's what it always ends up. And people always get upset. If this is real, comment. If you've experienced this, comment. You know what I mean? But think about it. Even in a boutique, I have homies. This is a true story. That bought retail pairs of certain shoes. Weren't able, kind of had them checked. They had them legit checked purposely. And these were retail pair. And people in boutiques was like, nah, they fake because look at the stitching here. And then they show them the Foot Locker receipt. And all of a sudden, people look stupid. Oh, gosh, I wish I had that on camera. I'm going to start doing that. Because people are foolish. And they choose to be stupid. So back to the matter at hand. So authenticators and real versus fake experts are not experts. Question their credentials. Question where they got the information. Question, well, what do you want? To some kind of authentication school? Some kind of sneaker essentials school? Where do you get your information? I told you they're hired. If you go on, it's Craigslist. I was looking at jobs on Craigslist, and it was one asking for a shoe authenticator. And here's what the requirements were. The requirements were, if you love shoes and you like buying shoes, you can become a sneaker authenticator. That's it. No experience, no send your resume of the locations that you worked at or nothing. And again, I'll say this again, like I said in my last video, the only person's take that I'll really take for real versus fake other than the brands which the brands don't do real versus fake. Let me make that clear. They do not. I don't care what no one tells you. They don't do real versus fake. So the person's viewpoint I would take is somebody like Shoe Surgeon, who consistently splice open, cut open shoes, fills materials. That's it. That's it, because he really gets into the skinny of the shoe. The insole, the outsole, laces, the inner layers of the shoe, the inner sides, the front, the toe box, the heel. Like, he gets into all of that. He customizes all of that. So I would take his word more than anybody on real versus fake, because he has more insight, because the man is deconstructing and reconstructing shoes all day long. That's his business. That's what he does. That's his artistry. So in that sense, yeah, I would take more of his advice than anybody's. But these cats out here that call themselves authenticators, again, I've told you this 1,000 times. It's self-made. You can be an authenticator right now, today. I decree you an authenticator. You know why I can do that? Because there's no type of credentials needed to be an authenticator. Anybody. Hey, if you watching this for the first time, guess what? You're an authenticator. I just made you one. That's literally the process of becoming an authenticator. And people are going to get peeved off at this video. And I don't care if people hate. I don't care if people get mad in the comment section. That stuff don't bother me, man. Like, when you're telling the truth about stuff, people are going to take shots and be ticked off. Especially when you're exposing stuff that's the truth. Like, people are going to get heated. I don't care. They're stupid. And you want to hear something funny? Most of the people that get heated and try to hate or try to debate certain things are people that's not doing it themselves, but going off what the masses say. So they'll never have a pair of off-whites. They'll never have a pair of Jordan 1 Travis Scotts. They'll never have that because they can't get them retail, because they're sold retail wise in such limited quantities. You think these cats are really grabbing up all of these pairs? So the people that talk trash, either one, never had the shoes in hand and are fans of some sneaker YouTuber that told them, and they fell in love with this sneaker YouTuber via their content. So now they believe everything they say. So now when you say something against what that sneaker YouTuber says, they have to come hate, but they have no proof and validation behind any of the words that was said by that bigger influence. They just go by what they say. Come on, man. It's time to wake up. You know, it's time to wake up. So know what the deal is with these shoes and why people get so mad over something so cheap and stupid. And it's all about status. Let me be real. It's all about status. Like, people don't even wear shoes because they like them anymore. They wear shoes because they feel like they stunting on somebody else. And the whole time, these people are struggling in their lives with the stuff that they need to be excelling in. Not to become super intellectual or economically geared towards society in our communities, but it's real. People that seek after these shoes are the people that really that feel like they need them for status, are really the ones that have no value in life and progressing in life in the sense of making things better for themselves. Some do, but if you look at the majority, like people that want to stunt on people, and I'll tell you where this comes from. They want to stunt to pretend to look like they have something that they really know they can't afford. So for them to say that they're getting these or they've had these, it's not very likely. People are normally Mr. and Mrs. Retail unless they order wholesale. And I hate to say it like that. I might get some lashback, but I don't care. It's the truth. You got to acknowledge the truth. The truth is the truth. And that's all that's going to stand in the end. You know, so people are going to throw accusations and things like that. That's what they do when you're honest and when you're putting it out there, you know, and it affects them. But yeah, that's what's going on, man. Nobody is a real authenticator. Again, we use fake education. Who gave you the authority to authenticate? And you have over 500,000 followers influencing people a lot of times the wrong way intentionally. You know, y'all want to know something? I can pay one of these big name YouTubers to shout out a business. If I sell shoes, if I say, hey, can you shout my business out and have people shop with me? If you pay them the right amount, they'll do it. And guess what? That real versus fake convo won't even be had. They won't be like, hey, you selling real shoes or fake shoes? They're not. They just worried about that dollar. So when they get that dollar, hey, go buy from my man's here. All the Yeezys. His stuff is real. I've seen it happen with people like Fake Education, and people promote pages because they were paid or they're their homies, and they promote that page and have you go to them and shop. Again, y'all better wake up. But I'll recircle to this since this is the end of the video. Ask the questions, the hard questions. If cats start getting mad when you start questioning them about real versus fake, or if they're authenticators and you question their view on something they call fake and they start getting ticked off, that's a sign or an indicator. Because if you know what you know with this real versus fake stuff, you know what you know. You're confident in the information that you have. So I'm going to leave y'all with that, man. I feel like that was some, a nice amount of information. And again, I won't stop bringing the truth. I'm not. So it's your boy, man. Trouble T. Roy. Kicks Business and Education. I'm out.